what is it like for those of us who are polyamorous to live in a mononormative, monoamorous world? Okay, so these words, tongue twisters, I have been trying to get out at least some episodes for the community of polyamory. I know that every person has a different way of organizing their polyamory lifestyle. I don't have friends that are actually maintaining, by the way, their polyamory status. No, what I found were people who use the word, and the minute that they were presented with the opportunity to be in a romantic relationship, so partnership, some of us are solo poly, so we don't build a couple-centric life, but that doesn't mean we don't have partners that we build futures with. So we have nice direct conversations. Obviously, though, it helps if you're a securely attached person. And so before we even begin on our conversation of polyamory, which basically is a term coined, I don't know when, I have the Polysecure book. Let me see if it briefly explains this. 1997. Yes, The Ethical Slut and Polyamory, The New Love Without Limits. And this was written by, I don't know who. But essentially, I was 17. I had no idea about this book. Now I do. Okay, but I did know about compersion, for example, and how to talk about love. And with my teenage boyfriend, spelling out, you're not loved more because you're my boyfriend. You're a person that we're deciding to maybe build a future together. Obviously, the first love you think you will. And I was very happy once that relationship was over, because it definitely led me to being able to meet actual mature people. No, I thought I would, but people who were at least more mature than this person. And that's what happens as we grow up. Okay, so every person is different. One, I'm 43, so I'm going to say the younger generation, they already know of polyamory. So it's a way of discovering how they love or whatnot. Back to compersion for a minute. So compersion, the word means the state of happiness, joy, or pleasure that comes from delighting in other people's happiness. When it comes to a polyamorous relationship, it means being happy that somebody else is sharing a good time with. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic. It can be a friend. It can be independently from what the standard definition is of polyamory, which involves only romantic partners and or sexual, which sexual is the group that defines themselves as polygamous, polygamous, not poly. And in forums, you will notice, in fact, I went to forums and I was like, wow, some people are actually being insulting to the polygamous community because they're like, ew, I'm asexual and you shouldn't be going and having sex with all these people. And I'm like, wait a minute, it sounds a little bit like teenage land. So we're just using new words that explain concepts or integrate concepts. So let me go back again. I was 16 and I was sat down and not let go until I actually fulfilled this inquiry that was presented to me by family members about how you cannot love all people equally. Today, thank goodness, we have Sadhguru sharing to the world, besides we had also other people, but love is all inclusion, is all inclusiveness, or however he puts it, and I will, once I let you in, love you like I love myself. And it's like, yeah, some of us know that expanded consciousness. Oh yes, I forgot, 5D Mystic Enlightenment Functional Adult. I am a securely attached person. I have a safe haven body and a secure base body, brain. This means that I'm my 3-year-old whole heart and I don't have an issue if society doesn't like me. Oh, in fact, I did grow up with Jesus, and Jesus is an example of unconditional love. So whenever somebody wants to present to me their, what is the word that I can use? The whole, the wrath of God. Okay, wow, seriously. One, I have clairs. I have a very good relationship with love. 2, I think you're afraid or you were raised in a way, and I'm not part of that group. So I thank you so much for the wrath. It's kind of like, here, my grandma and people who were 90 or are 90 and older. Okay, so I look at people's eyes. And I saw this way that my grandmother reacted with fear to this very, today, not a big deal skin disease or something that was happening that just needed some time to get, medicine on it or whatever. But my grandmother's face was full of fear, as it was in other instances. So understanding that a person's body, by the way, holds 80% of your memory, and the sensations that come up are not in the control of the brain, the thinking brain. A person's thinking, they can speak to you, but their body's going to manifest, like my body manifests when I'm afraid, when I'm uncomfortable. All of our bodies manifest something. If you learn your body language and you learn about your emotions and you learn about a lot of things, you're going to get somewhere. 3-year-old whole hearts. So that's why therapy is important for people who have had not a child-centric life. And so here, again, I know I'm mixing. That's what I always do. I mix a little bit of this and that because they're all related. Essentially, if you don't have your emotional body in the forefront, meaning you can always unconditionally love, you're not you yet. You're the protective false self of you who potentially can have trauma, attachment wounds, a bunch of things. The movies make it look cool for people to live a misaligned life. I don't even think misaligned is worthy to say. Shame life. The inner critic, outer critic, with the deniers, drugs, alcohol, sex, food. It's not about the devil or temptation. It's actually the compulsive mannerisms, and they do it all over again, withdrawing. And you know how you know? Because their vitality doesn't go up. They don't know how to be out of their arousal state. They don't know how to be in their ventral vagal. Lo and behold, this is what yoga helps you to do. Put into practice your ventral vagal nervous system exercises. So everything can come together with a little bit of sciences that tell you how you are made as a human, back to being polyamorous, even without being polyamorous as a teenager. And that means unconditionally loving. So polyamory to persons such as myself is because I embody loving people equally. Romantic or not, nobody has a special place, and really love is unlimited, as my lovely Poly Secure book shares. And if you're happy, I'm happy for you. I don't need to attach to you because I have things to do with my life and I feel good about it. Will I be nervous or potentially upset that somebody might judge me? Yeah, but I'm not going to go insult people. Okay, so when I'm seeing forums of polyamory people who are asexual or the other, I forget all the terms, but either way, the terms help people to organize themselves. When I see them behaving like teenagers, I'm like, we just created new words, but people are doing the same things to each other. And you know why this is? Because they don't have their 3-year-old whole heart. They have not learned healthy self-worth. No, in their body, not in their brain. Oh, they can speak a lot of words. You know, I'm going to know the minute you're talking to me if you're securely attached, because you're going to look at me like a human, and you're not going to human-splain me. You're going to understand I'm a differentiated self and so are you, which means I have a body right here. And I have the ability, like anybody else, to share my thoughts and feelings. And if you don't like it, your projection of your upset is your emotional stuff. And I don't have to handle your upset. But if I'm securely attached, you better bet I'm going to catch it. And I'm going to know how to use my words with you on purpose because I've chosen how to conduct myself on purpose, once again, because I will treat you, thank you, God, the same way I want to be treated. And I will forgive you independently from what you may do to me, spit in my face, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I have chosen how I will conduct myself. And if you have no physical weapon, then I have no issue with you. And I can go to the law, and I can go vote, and I can do so. When it comes to being a full-blown adult, it is very clear to those who are 5D, mystics and functional adults, my community, how to behave. Now, when people hear about polyamory, what I was trying to get to too, they all have the most ridiculous things to say. But I too, I'm like, how am I going to talk about it today? Okay, so in our last minute and a half, as a teenager, I wasn't polyamorous because I had my first teenage boyfriend. Then I got through a couple of those boyfriends, like, you know what? I like the solo poly life. I figured it because I have a bunch of things I want to do and I'm on a roll. So once I got to meeting my second twin flame is when I was like, okay, wow, that's confusing right now because now I know I have more than one special bond. And here's that polyamory with the romantic, with the uniqueness. And then I got to 3 twin flames and then I got to other oversoul members. And so for me, it's always a very straightforward, direct communication. I have more than one person I love and that's never going to change. Here's who I am, and I'm securely attached. If they're not securely attached, that means I get to reassure them if there's communication. And there's a lot of people, they don't know how to talk about their feelings because they don't know about their attachment category, their trauma, and they don't do the work with good therapists. They don't do any work. They do the movies, and they do the shame cycle. And that's unfortunate. But on that note, we're running out of time. If you have any questions or you'd like to hear more, let me know. For me, sharing my truth, that voice of love, It's beautiful because love is actually our nature. It's us in our ventral vagal nervous system state. And you can be here with secure attachment though. So tune in.